OTC's new Minuteman Plus represents a new concept in automotive electrical testing equipment. It combines microprocessor-controlled automated tests for battery, charging, and starting systems, along with powerful manual tools for component pinpoint testing. The Minuteman Plus is very easy to use, as all the test keys and numeric keys are clearly identified. You'll notice when you press a button, the Minuteman will sound a tone to verify the button was depressed. And if you ever make a mistake in entering in data, there's a clear button you can press to re-enter the correct information. The liquid crystal displays are large and easy to read. The center display shows the messages and prompts generated by the microprocessor, including the status of the test being run. The LCD on the left will display the voltage at the battery load clamps, and the right display will show the amperage. OTC's Minuteman Plus quickly verifies the condition of the battery without first having to charge the battery. That's because the Minuteman has been specially designed to accurately test batteries that are partially discharged or fully charged. To run the battery test, simply turn the unit on and select Battery Test. Next, you'll need to connect the battery load clamps. Attach the red clamp to the positive battery terminal and the black clamp to the negative battery terminal. Remember, do not connect the black clamp to any other ground. Always connect it to the negative battery terminal. The Minuteman will now prompt you to enter the approximate temperature of the battery. You can select 7 if the battery temperature is close to 0 degrees Fahrenheit, 8 if it's closest to 32 degrees, or 9 if it's close to 70 degrees. To proceed, enter in the cold cranking amps of the battery being tested. This is an important step to ensure accurate results. This battery is rated at 650 CCA. If the battery is rated in units different than CCA, press the 0 key to change the method of measurement until the appropriate choice is displayed. Your choices are DIN, IEC, or amp hours. When all the information has been entered, simply press Enter to start the test. The Minuteman will display the message, Test in Progress, along with a 50-second counter. During the 50-second test, the Minuteman Plus will place a load on the battery and monitor the voltage, release the load and analyze the recovery voltage, then load the battery a second time for analysis. You'll hear the load control solenoid click during the load on and load off sequences. When the test is completed, the results are displayed. The possible results are: good battery. The battery is capable of holding a charge and performing to specifications. Good low charge. The battery is capable of holding a charge and performing to specification. However, it's currently in a low state of charge. This may be due to a charging system problem or a drain on the battery from another electrical system. Bad battery. The battery is not capable of holding a charge and performing to specification. It should be replaced. Charge and retest. In rare cases, the battery may be in a condition where it's impossible to analyze it without it first being fully charged. In this case, bring the battery to a full charge and let it stabilize in accordance with the battery manufacturer's specifications. Then, retest the battery by selecting Test After Charge. The Minuteman Plus will take into account that the battery has just been fully charged prior to the test, and it will adjust the results. The starting system test allows you to perform diagnostics on the starter circuit. With the Minuteman turned on, connect the battery load leads in the same manner as if you were testing a battery. Next, you'll need to zero the amp probe. Make sure the amp probe is not connected to any wires. Then, press the 0 amps key. Now, connect the amp probe to the vehicle's negative battery cable, making sure the probe is around all the wires leading to that terminal. Also, The arrow on the amp probe must be pointing towards the battery. To begin, press the Starting Test button. Then input the number of cylinders. This is important, as the Minuteman will compare the current flow of the starter circuit to a database based on engine cylinders. For the test to be accurate, the engine must be disabled. Crank the engine until the Minuteman displays the message, Test Complete. To look at the test results, press Continue. The display shows the cranking volts measured during the test. Press Continue a second time, and cranking amps is displayed. Press Continue a third time, and Minuteman will tell you if the vehicle has a good starter or a bad starter. If current draw is excessive, you may see a prompt asking you if the vehicle is a diesel. You then need to select 1 for yes or 2 for no. Also, if the vehicle's battery was too low to continue cranking, or if cranking was discontinued during the starting system test, the Minuteman will display a message, Test Incomplete. To begin the charging system test, the Minuteman needs to be turned on and the battery load leads connected. Again, you'll need to zero the amp probe. Be sure it's not connected to any wires, and then press the 0 amps key. Connect the amp probe to the vehicle's negative battery cable, making sure the probe is around all the wires leading to that terminal. Also, the arrow on the amp probe must be pointing towards the battery. Press the Charging System Test key. Then, input the number of cylinders to activate the battery tach. Following the directions on the display, run the engine at 2,000 RPM. After an adjustment period, a counter will appear in the corner of the display, and it will count down from 10 seconds. The display will tell you to run at idle. Reduce the engine speed to idle. When the Minuteman detects idle speed, the display will tell you to maintain idle. For engines larger than 4-cylinder, idle is detected at less than 1,000 RPM. On 4-cylinder or smaller engines, idle is detected at below 1,200 RPM. If the engine speed cannot be held lower than these values, set it as low as possible and then press Continue on the Minuteman. While the vehicle is idling, the Minuteman will test the diode pattern. After the idle test, the display may tell you to run the engine at between 800 to 1,200 RPM. This indicates the RPM was not high enough or other conditions were not met during the diode test. Simply raise the engine RPM to between 800 to 1,200 RPM and hold it. If the RPM reading is still not available, press Continue. Remember, on certain vehicles, the battery tach will not be functional. This is not critical, since the battery tach is not essential to properly complete the charging system test. In the event the battery tach is inoperative or unstable, simply run the engine as close to the suggested speed as possible and press Continue. The results will be accurate. When the test is complete, press Continue to review the test results. The first value displayed will be regulator volts. Press Continue again to view peak amps. Press Continue for a third time, and the Minuteman will tell you if the diode condition is good or bad. The OTC Minuteman Plus features a constantly registering voltmeter and ammeter in the lower displays. The voltmeter reads the battery clamp voltage, and the other set of leads, called search leads, are utilized to check other voltage sources, including voltage drop across circuits, plus much more. To select this mode, press Multimeter. The Minuteman will display engine RPM and search volts in the center display. To manually load the battery, just press the Load On key. OTC's Minuteman Plus is designed to be nearly maintenance-free. The unit comes with an internal rechargeable battery that will provide power to your unit when it's away from a wall outlet. If the internal battery becomes too low to continue testing, the Minuteman will prompt you to charge the battery. If you need to continue testing, simply plug the charger into a 110-volt outlet and proceed with the test. To fully recharge the internal battery, shut the unit off and plug the charger in. Remember, do not exceed 8 hours of recharging time. The amp probe should be zeroed before every starting and charging test. This will compensate for residual magnetic fields created within the amp probe during routine testing. Simply remove the amp probe from around all wires and hold it away from any conductors. Allow the jaws to close completely. Press 0 amps on the Minuteman. The zeroing procedure is complete. If the message "Remove amp probe" is displayed, make sure the probe is away from any conductor and press Continue. Over a period of time, the leads in the Minuteman may require calibration. This action is not routine. If the message "Calibration is needed" is displayed, perform the amp zero routine. To calibrate the Minuteman, press Calibrate. The display will tell you to input temp units. Press 1 for Fahrenheit or 2 for Celsius. The Minuteman will tell you to short search the volt leads. Simply clip the search volt leads together so the metal clips are in contact with each other. Then press Continue. The display will instruct you to see the calibration diagram. This is found in the calibration section of the Minuteman manual. Connect the battery clamp leads and the search leads to the battery. Red to the positive terminal and black to the negative terminal. Attach the amp probe to the Minuteman's negative load lead with the arrow pointing in any direction. When the connections are complete, press Continue. The display will tell you that calibration is in progress. When completed, the Minuteman will tell you that unit is calibrated. You can then proceed with normal testing. Your OTC Minuteman Plus has been designed with quality components throughout to ensure trouble-free service. Should you encounter any operational problem, the following procedure will determine whether the problem is field repairable by you or whether you need factory service. First, turn the power off and then back on. If the problem still exists, continue with the next step. If nothing appears on the displays when the power on button is pressed, refer to the charger check and internal battery check sections of the operator's manual. Or if the tester powers up properly but does not read voltage or current, refer to the test leads check section of the manual. In the event parts or service are required, call technical service at 1-800-533-6127. Should you have any further questions, contact your nearest OTC tool and equipment distributor.